When I first went into the studio, we had no idea what we were gonna do, or I didn't have any idea what I was gonna do. We've both worked with the producer, John Levine, who did it separately on our own stuff. I've worked with him on my last record, Harmony, before this new one. So we didn't even know if it was gonna be a duet or what it was gonna be, if I was just gonna sing backgrounds on it. So basically what I did was I just started singing from the very top. Like the first take was just me singing Harmony in the background, and it just felt really natural, and I'm like, oh, okay, well this works, okay, I guess it's a duet now. And it's funny because the first time I heard it played back, I thought Sean was singing the second verse, and it was actually me just singing low and him singing high. I got confused on whose voice was whose because I can totally sound like a dude when I sing low. It's pretty awesome. I pictured that we were gonna be on an actual float doing it, but that kind of made me nervous because I was like, well, do we have to do the song over and over and over and over? Because, you know, people aren't walking with us. They're just like watching us go by, and then they, okay, so they get to hear this part of the song. But I guess we have a really cool little setup at the side we're gonna do the performance and not be moving. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I met Santa today too, which is pretty cool. He's pretty awesome. I think the intention behind that song resonates just as much, maybe even more now than it did back then when they wrote it. It's such a classic song in the sense that, like, it's not just like a wishy-washy Christmas song like everything's cool. It's like, no, there's so much going on in the world that we need to be aware of. So when we're thinking about what we're grateful for, we should be thinking about what we can do to help change, you know, the world. Even in the song it says war is over if you want it. You know, it's like you kind of have to put that back out there, and it's one of the only songs that I've heard, the only Christmas song that I've heard that really, really means something, you know, really means something to me, you know? We chose this song because of the deeper meaning of the song, because we didn't want to do just a Christmas song. I do love all of the classics of, like, you know, Jingle Bell Rock and like all the old kind of Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra stuff, all of that is amazing, but definitely a song that has, you know, more political awareness to it, and just a lot of the youth of today haven't heard that song, you know? It's not something that people, younger people have heard and are aware of, so, you know, Sean's kind of in with the young kids, and maybe I am too. There's so many different pieces to the album Utopia because I spent almost 3 years working on it. So I had so many different ideas, and when I first started, it's like, oh, this is what the album's gonna be about. Oh, no, this is what the album's gonna be about, because I wrote almost 100 songs, and so I had all these different themes. And one of the themes that I realized was really prevalent in all of the writing was this idea of good versus evil, dark versus light, this constant like battle with that we all have. One of the very first songs that I wrote for the record with my friend Simon Wilcox has a line in it that says, the strongest one is the one who's fed. And that comes from this Cherokee story about two wolves, that all of us have the dark wolf and a light wolf inside of us that are battling each other all of the time. And the story goes that this elder is telling this story to this young child, and the child is like, okay, well, if there's a battle, then which wolf wins? And the elder said, the one you feed. And that just resonated so strongly with me. I love that story. It's just like, it's true, you know, it's very simple, but it's also really profound. And then I realized, okay, well, we've kind of had this whole spiritual movement in North America in the last 15, 20 years of like, thoughts become things, and that whole The Secret and all of that stuff where people are like, where you put your thoughts, you know, that's how you create your own reality. And that, you know, if you just pay attention to that light wolf, then you'll get more of that in your life. I kind of think that's a bit, it's a little bit of bullshit, I think, because if you only feed one wolf, that other wolf is gonna become so starving, and it's gonna get angry, and it's gonna get ravenous, and it's gonna attack the other wolf even harder. So the idea for my album Utopia was based on a little bit of the light, a little bit of the dark. Why not feed both of the wolves? So neither is hungry, so they're just not battling, you know? So that's where I kind of got the theme for Utopia, where for me that idea of utopia really just means balance to me, you know? But at the same time, it's like utopia is that name, that word, that place that doesn't exist ever, you know? It's like it's always like this. If it was like this, then we wouldn't need to be here, you know? So the inspiration behind Ice Age is, it's a song about really finding that there's never gonna be any sort of perfection in your life. It's a love song to myself, in a sense, because you can pay attention to what other people say or think about you. And I think a lot of us do that. We all say, you know, well, we don't care what other people think or whatever, but how people kind of define you. But it's kind of letting go of that and letting go of your mistakes and letting go of things that you wanted to change about yourself and like breaking through. And so like the Ice Age is like, you know, the time of when you're totally stagnant and you feel like you're almost frozen in who you are. It's breaking through that and saying, you know, the Ice Age is over. It's time to let it all thaw and be, you know, fall in love with yourself a little bit. This is my favorite video I've ever done. It's really, really awesome. I read the treatment. A woman who works in our office, in our management office, Rebecca. She's like 24 years old and she's super amazing, super talented. Out of the blue, she's like, oh, I wrote this treatment. And she told me about it and it made me cry. I was like, this is amazing. Because the inspiration behind the treatment, behind the video is the documentary Alive Inside. It's a documentary about how music is kind of the best medicine for Alzheimer's patients and people with dementia. And it shows the transformation of people who have been just totally sedentary and not speaking and not remembering their family members, the transformation of them listening to their favorite song or songs from their generation, them coming back to life and like dancing and singing and remembering parts of their life that they haven't been able to for years, just based on music, you know? And that is just so powerful. And so that's the inspiration behind the music video, where this woman is, you know, has really just kind of shut down, and then she hears this song, my song, and she starts remembering, you know, her true love and picturing herself dancing when she was young, and then all of a sudden she's actually out of her wheelchair and dancing, and she's in this dream world. Then she comes to life and everybody in the home starts dancing with her, and I put on the record and I'm like a janitor in it. Pretty cool. My band feeds my light when I'm on tour. I have the most amazing, hilarious, fun, great, kind-hearted people on tour with me. They are so much fun. And so I get to kind of bring my family with me on the road, and that really keeps the light energy of being on the road. If you're around, you know, a bunch of miserable people, you're gonna be miserable. So we have a lot of fun. We joke around, we goof off. We have dance parties like almost every night on the bus. Like different people DJ and like take turns, and we're total goofballs on the road. So the best DJ is actually my drummer, Sekou Lumumba, but he's also usually the first one in bed. But when we can actually get him to stay up and DJ, they're the best nights ever. I'm terrible because my attention span is so short. I'm like, what song do I need to hear? Okay, that's great. And then I'll think of another one and I'll stop the song and go to the next one, and people are like, oh, you can't stop a song in the middle of it even if it's not good, you know? I love the actual performances on stage. Like, that's what it's all about. You know, you spend, 22 hours, of your day getting ready for that performance. Recently, I've been loving sound checks because there's no audience, and I find I have this freedom that I don't think about performing or think about how I'm gonna sing something, and I'll end up finding new ways to sing the songs, or like changing up the songs myself and being like, whoa, I didn't know I could do that. A lot of the time that's where I get really cool ideas too, because I can just when it sounds so good and you're on stage and you're just writing and there's nobody around, magic happens. We record pretty much everything when we're on tour, so that we can go back and listen and find those little accidental magic happenings, you know, during sound check or at shows and things like that. I feel like creativity, like any sort of magical thing in the world, it has lifespans, but it never dies. Like, I don't believe anything ever dies. It just changes. So there's obviously gonna be periods of time when things don't feel as fresh or good, but it's all a part of the process. It's like you kind of just have to keep going, because if you stop, it's kind of the end of the journey. So I almost say like I write a lot. I write a lot of songs, and there's some really, really bad songs. Like, I have some really bad songs that will not see the light of day. How to keep it fresh for me is by working with lots of different people, doing co-writes for other people, getting out of my own head, not thinking about writing for myself, which is really cool, because I think as an artist and as a solo artist, you get this, you know, idea of yourself, or you're stamped like, this is Serena Ryder and this is what I'm all about, and then it's just like me, and then you think of what other people think of you, and then what the audience is gonna think of you, and what do you think of you, and how do you kind of have to get out of your own head a little bit and say, you know, you can create other pieces of art with other musicians, and that's what keeps it exciting for me. I love writing for other people, doing different things like that, because it's like, you gotta take the pressure off yourself and realize that, you know, it's really not about you as much as you think it is, you know, because you become too precious with something and you hold on to something really tightly, it's gonna suffocate, like anything.